salad shooter slicer shredder, easier than a food processor.
The 1970s was a decade known for bold ideas, groovy trends, disco balls, and bell-bottom jeans. It was also a decade that gave us some truly bizarre home appliances, better suited for a sci-fi movie than a kitchen. Those who grew up in the era can recall the 70s being full of crazy innovations with seemingly noble intentions. However, many appeared to miss the mark entirely. Some were simply eccentric and impractically designed, while others were downright catastrophic. So grab your favorite retro snack and relax in your beanbag chair as we examine the top 10 worst home appliances from the 1970s. Number 1. The kitchen computer. Let us get started with our first gadget, the kitchen computer. This gadget looked like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. It looked like a chunky box with buttons and a screen sitting there on your kitchen countertop. It was manufactured by Honeywell and marketed as the future of meal prep. The goal was to bring tech into the kitchen. They believed that it would assist with grocery lists, meal planning, and recipe preparation. All you had to do was type in what you wanted to create, and voila, it would bring up a recipe. But here's the thing, the user interface was awkward, and the stored recipes became out of date very quickly. Plus, you had to learn binary code to use it. I mean, imagine inputting a whole bunch of ones and zeros just to get some basic mac and cheese recipe. And what made it more unappealing was its price. It cost a whopping $10,000 in today's money. To the surprise of no one, the gadget didn't last long on the kitchen shelves. It quickly faded into obscurity after being mocked as completely impractical. For the time, it was just better for people to stick to their old school cookbooks. This gadget is now just a bizarre episode in the history of kitchen gadgets. A lesson that just because some invention is high-tech doesn't mean it would actually be useful. Number 2. The roll-on stove. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a stove and a rolling pin were combined? Well, some genius in the 1970s certainly did. The roll-on stove was a small, sleek metal cylinder that resembled a little stove or oven on wheels, with the assurance that the convenience would be there whenever and wherever you wanted it, particularly while you were outside. It was the next modern solution for your kitchen needs. But here's the truth about this stove. It was cumbersome and at times downright dangerous. The heater element was prone to failure and would stop working unexpectedly. Even when it worked without issues, it did not cook efficiently, leaving your meal cold on one side and charred on the other. Even worse, it might overheat and catch fire. It was prone to flipping over and becoming unstable on rough terrain. Plus, who would want to fire a stove while on a day out with the family? People were more convinced that all they needed was a regular grill instead of a stove on wheels. Its convenience was soon overshadowed by safety concerns. This gadget is now just another oddball holdover from a time when innovation was prioritized above all else, even if it, at times, ignored reality. Number 3. The egg cuber. Most people don't think much about the shape of their boiled eggs. However, back in the 70s, it seemed enough care for someone to invent the egg cuber. It was a quirky thing, made up of plastic. It would turn your ordinary hard-boiled oval egg into fun shapes like squares, hearts, and even a star. It was vibrant and colorful. It was guaranteed to permanently alter your egg-eating habits, making it perfect for kids or fancy brunches. But here's the downside. It was messy, sluggish, and completely unneeded. Like, who would want it if it didn't operate properly? It was terrible at its job, and the eggs often broke. So instead of lovely shapes, you got cooked scrambled eggs. It soon became a forgotten gadget from the 1970s. People preferred to slice up their eggs instead of shaping them. It turned out to be one of those as-seen-on-TV things that individuals purchased out of curiosity, but later regretted. Most ended up at thrift stores or in kitchen drawers, serving as a quirky reminder of failed culinary innovations. Number 4. Electric food dehydrator. The next item on our list is an electric food dehydrator. It was a large, hefty contraption with trays piled on top of one another. It was touted as a professional food preservation method. It would swiftly dry your fruits, veggies, or meat, so you had alternatives to plain old refrigeration. The idea was straightforward. Eliminate moisture from food to keep it fresher longer, and you get your homemade jerky or dried fruits. It resembled a small oven and seemed like a fantastic idea at first. So what was the problem, you might ask? Well, unfortunately, it was huge and took forever to dry your food evenly. We aren't talking about hours. We are talking about a whole day to dry one batch of food. And the worst part was, it wasn't quiet, and it smelled really bad. Like burning plastic, a big yikes. Cleaning the electric food dehydrator was tiresome as well, so many people ditched it and used it for just one season. After a while, the dehydrator simply vanished from the annals of history and was relegated to the back of cabinets. Number 5. Salad shooter. The salad shooter was a device that claimed to make preparing vegetables a breeze. However, by the looks, it seemed more like a tool for fixing your automobile, not making lunch. It was designed to facilitate salad preparation by quickly slicing and chopping vegetables. All you had to do was pop the veggies into the salad shooter and squeeze the button to shoot them into your bowl. You could easily get shredded lettuce and diced tomatoes out of it. It seemed too wonderful to be true when it was advertised as the ultimate salad and taco time saver. You may make your salad in no time, but at what cost? Salad shooters were a chore to deal with, and cleanup was a nightmare. Additionally, most vegetables get stuck in it, and it jams constantly, making it difficult to operate. People preferred their normal salad knives over this weird kitchen gadget, as it wasn't worth the hype or hassle. Soon, it became the gadget available at thrift stores or garage sales as people stopped buying it. It was just another example of 1970s innovation that was not needed in the first place. Number 6. Electric toasters. Our next hot item on the list is the fire hazard toasters. These were like ticking time bombs in your kitchen. They looked perfectly harmless, and a must-have in your kitchen. They were sleek, shiny, and compact, toasting slices of bread in seconds. The perfect appliance everyone would love to have to make their breakfast quick and hassle-free, especially on busy mornings. But here's the catch. The design was, let's just say, a disaster waiting to happen. This early electric toaster had exposed heating elements, and they didn't work properly as they burned the toast often. They were also poorly insulated. This was critically hazardous, and they were at risk of overheating and catching fire. With no proper safeguards, these toasters often sparked flames instead of toasting bread. Numerous users complained that flames began to shoot out of the slots, leaving counters with burn marks, or in certain situations, igniting fires in the kitchen. Manufacturers were compelled to recall these toasters following several allegations of property damage and kitchen fires. Their awful design and disregard for safety regulations earned them notoriety. These days, they serve as a reminder to appliance manufacturers of the value of thorough testing before product release. Number 7. Electric potato peeler. Next on the list is the electric potato peeler. Are you as shocked as me? Why would you need an electric potato peeler? Well, the answer was simple: to eliminate the hard work of peeling potatoes by hand. And to be very honest, it's a pretty annoying job to do. It was a bulky gadget with a spinning blade inside a plastic container. It was made for large families and cooks who had to deal with large quantities of potatoes, especially at events, big holiday meals, or gatherings. And for them, it was like a dream come true, getting your potatoes peeled with little effort and in little time. In reality, though, this device was more of a hindrance than an assistance. It did not properly peel the potatoes. They were largely uneven, and the worst part was that the potato skins got trapped in the peeler. This causes frequent blade damage. The cleanup was particularly difficult. The potato residue will become lodged in difficult to reach areas. Additionally, it was also noisy, making an irritating noise while in operation. The gadget immediately fell out of popularity as knowledge spread of its impracticality. Most respondents found it quicker to peel potatoes using the old-fashioned method of using a hand peeler. The electric potato peeler became simply another forgotten device, accumulating dust in drawers or being discarded completely. Number 8. Electric pasta maker. Another home device that drew everyone's attention in the 1970s was an electric pasta maker. The manufacturers of this gadget made outrageous claims that it could bring a fresh batch of pasta right away, straight into your kitchen, and that too without any bother. It promised to mix, knead, and even extrude pasta dough, all at the press of a button. It came with a variety of attachments that allowed you to make pasta in various shapes, such as spaghetti, fettuccine, and penne. The promise was that it got you out of the tedious tasks of spending hours kneading dough and then rolling it out by hand to produce various shapes. Users may just put ingredients into the machine and let it do the work. It felt like a dream come true for pasta lovers. The problem was, this gadget was too hard to operate. You have to have precise measurements, and it also needed constant monitoring, or else you'd end up with the gooey dough instead of delicious noodles. Additionally, the dough would get stuck in the extruder, which will cause the noodle strands to break. Maintaining the machine was another difficult task, since the dough would harden in the nooks and crevices. The pasta that was made was oftentimes overwhelming in both texture and taste, leaving users disappointed. Number 9. The hot dog toaster. Next, we have one of the quirkiest household gadgets from the 1970s. It promised to revolutionize the way you cook and eat. It resembled a toaster, but with a twist. Literally, you'd place your dogs on one side and your buns on the other and let it do its thing. The promotion promised to give flawlessly toasted buns and juicy hot dogs every time. With this machine, your meal preparation was as easy as pie. No more boiling water or filthy grills. All you had to do was just plug it in and enjoy the amazing scent. It sounds like your prayers have been answered, right? But here's where things went south. See, the hot dog toaster wasn't a hot shot as it claimed. Regular toasters were doing their job just right. They could easily toast the buns, and even boiling or grilling hot dogs was an easy task to do. Plus, why would you need an additional device in your kitchen just for a single snack? It took up valuable counter space for something that didn't offer much more than traditional methods. Eventually, just like all fads, hot dog toasters' popularity was short-lived. It rapidly became a curiosity item that accumulated dust in kitchens. Number 10. The instant coffee maker. Finally, we have the instant coffee maker. It was small, futuristic looking, and had a compact and elegant appearance. It was so little that it could readily fit on any kitchen countertop. Marketed as a game changer for coffee enthusiasts, it promised to provide a rapid caffeine shot without the wait. Specifically geared at people with busy schedules who don't have enough time to brew a traditional pot of hot joe. It was designed to be quick, efficient, and ideal for individual serving. The convenience component was its main selling point, particularly for people constantly on the move. Well, the shortcoming was that the brewed coffee was frequently poor, lukewarm, or had an unusual metallic aftertaste. The machine was delicate, frequently breaking after a few usages. It was prone to leaks, malfunctions, and even short circuits. Again, cleaning was quite arduous because it contained small pieces that easily got coffee debris stuck in them. The instant coffee maker immediately gained a reputation for being unreliable and impractical. Most consumers stopped using it in favor of more traditional coffee machines or even instant coffee powder. It sank into oblivion, recognized primarily as a failed attempt to modernize coffee-making techniques. And that wraps up our journey through the wackiest and worst home appliances of the 1970s. These inventions might have flopped, but hey, we were still trying with the spirit of innovation. Remember, sometimes you have to swing and miss before you hit a home run. Which of these home appliances did you find the worst? Are any of these devices still hidden in a cupboard by your parents or grandparents? Tell us in the comments below. For more blasts from the past, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Keep it retro, stay groovy, and we'll see you next time.